Boycott.
Something again that is, I think, is completely bizarre.
Yeah, and of course, there were like news all around Twitter
Yeah.
about this Laal Singh Chadha getting
But
boycotted.
but please don't do that because such a beautiful film.
Biopics?
I haven't really ever thought of like one. In fact, I haven't been like even offered a biopic. Maybe on me someday, somebody late. My priorities are slightly different because I have two children.
Yeah.
I have a lot of responsibility here,
Yeah.
and it's not something that like I could just get up and go and do. My life and my journey is on a different path. His idea is that his parents are famous. He tells me that, and and Abba are famous, but why do they like taking my pictures? Because I'm not famous. And I told him, I said, you're not, you are no one.
Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes. This is Sheena, and today I have a very, very special guest right here with me. She's all about good looks, and a lot more. So please join me in welcoming the very gorgeous and the diva of Bollywood, Kareena Kapoor Khan. Hi Kareena, how are you today?
Good, all good.
As always, you're looking gorgeous, glowing, and of course, Laal Singh Chadha, it's going to release soon.
Yeah.
So, starting with that, I would want you to answer this, that Forrest Gump has been, this is a remake
Yeah.
of that, and, that has been a very big film, and, a lot of people have watched it. So, what kind of parallels do you draw between Laal Singh Chadha and Forrest Gump? Since you've seen both, you've done Laal Singh Chadha now, so.
So, but like Laal Singh Chaddha is an original adaptation with Paramount,
Right.
of Forrest Gump. So it's the characters have just been Indianized, but basically the story, I mean, it's like exactly because we are calling it the official adaptation. So in fact, but obviously, us Indianizing it and us actors like Amir and me now, we've obviously brought in what we thought to the characters, Lal and Rupa. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an emotional ride. It's something that of course, everyone is waiting to watch. So I mean, we're obviously waiting with anticipation that how people would react to this beautiful film.
Absolutely. As you mentioned that, Amir and you, of course, I'm sure that there would have been rounds of discussions where you would have, said that probably Rupa could do this. So can you just remember any of that which you've added or your touch to Rupa?
I think that I've made, I mean, completely, Rupa is, I mean, like, I've added probably, everything to that character is
Yeah.
me, I mean, because I've owned it, we've kind of lived with that character. And in fact, the film has been shot like, over 3 years because we
Yeah.
had COVID in between and, I mean, there was like 2 lockdowns.
Yeah.
But I think that the way Amir and me have lived with it, I think hopefully people would say it would be one of our best.
Yeah, and COVID times, 2 years, people were home, everybody was stuck to Netflix and all these,
Right.
platforms. So I'm sure that some of your fans must have stumbled upon, Forrest Gump, must have watched it somewhere online. So now that Lal Singh is also releasing, so what kind of expectation do you have from people who've already watched Forrest Gump?
So I feel like, of course, Forrest Gump, it's an English film. It's the classes and the elites would have watched Forrest Gump, but I don't think everybody across India has watched it.
Absolutely.
So this is a film that is from the heart. It's passionate. It's people are going to watch the film because they like the film. They like what they watch. They like the trailers. They like the music. They like the songs. It's not, of course, people like the English-speaking audience who will know that it's
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, but you watch the film as a whole, like to enjoy a film going experience,
Yeah.
enjoy a cinema experience. And I think that that's what Lal Singh does promise you, that it's a family film which you can enjoy and enjoy the entire
Absolutely.
cinema experience, across the board.
Absolutely. Like you said, language changes, essence of the film
Yeah,
also
of course,
changes.
absolutely.
And everything. Yeah, but Kareena, you've always been a risk taker, someone who's been a norm breaker and change maker in the industry. And of course, you've been the first to do a lot of things. So how do you take it? Like,
As in taking
yeah, I mean, when you're called that, you've paved the way for people and, you were the first to do, you were the first for a lot of things.
Yeah, but I don't look at it that like, okay, I've done. It was not really like a calculated move that
Yeah.
it's going to be like this is a first or that is a first. I don't think that's the case. I think that
Yeah.
I've always done what actually my heart wanted and what I thought is right for my life. And I'm happy that in some ways that has set an example.
Absolutely.
To young girls or, to married women who want to work, who, with children want to work. I think that that's just happened very subconsciously because I've
Absolutely.
actually just, living my life the way I think.
Yeah, and
You
we
know, I
all
should.
love your life, and of course, you're the first in everything. Well, talking about the iconic characters that you've created throughout your journey. It's the 22nd year running in the industry, and so much that you've done, and your characters like Geet, Pooh, everyone is inspired. Even today. And do you think that Rupa will be a character which will again become iconic? Do you
So
have that kind of?
Rupa in its ways has its own charm because if you see Jenny from Forrest Gump, she's not all black and white. She's quite grey.
Yeah.
So Rupa in his way is slightly a grey character. She's somebody who's, um, it's yeah, we have to see it. But of
Yeah.
course, I think that it's brave and iconic in its own way because, it's it's hopeful. It gives out a lot of hope to people. And it is, it is slightly emotional and
Yeah.
different. So different to, of course, Geet and Pooh.
Of
They
course,
can't be,
yeah.
under the same umbrella or in the same breath. But that's the whole idea is to, constantly keep evolving
Yeah.
and trying to do different things.
And of course, your fans love to see you in different characters and, the way you create magic on screen with every character that you play. Well, Kareena, they always say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? So when Kareena Kapoor Khan is imitated, how does she take that?
I don't, in fact, I'm not very good at when people, give me compliments of that sort. I'm happy that, if, people in a way get inspired
Yeah.
by, whether it's Pooh or whether it's like me in my real life, the way I
Yeah.
am. Because the thing is that I'm a very positive person.
Yeah.
I think that people get maybe a little attracted to that because, I'm the kind of person who's always like
Yeah.
happy. And when I'm around people, I want to be around happy people
Yeah.
because that's the kind of energy I feed off and I give that kind of energy. So it's so important to kind of, ultimately just feel and, happy in your life because I believe one life, one should just give it its all and enjoy every minute of it rather than, thinking ki kya hoga, kya hoga. I'm not that type of person.
So if anybody out there, all the current lot of actors or, anyone who's trying to copy you or imitate you in some way, you're just very positive about it and you're
Yeah,
just happy.
of course, have to be like that. I enjoy it also.
Yeah, of course, that makes you you. And also talking about, some actresses, of course, doing some Hollywood projects. So is that something which is in your, something that you think about or not now?
I've actually never really thought about that
Yeah.
because, I think my priorities are slightly different because, I have two children,
Yeah.
I have a lot of responsibility here.
Yeah.
And it's not something that like I could just, get up and go and do, My life and my journey is on a different path. But I'm, I think, with cinema going global, with like, people knowing like, all over, like Laal Singh Chaddha's posters are all over the London bus. People are watching, like all our friends message that, we've seen the posters all over. So, today it's not about like being in Hollywood or being here. I think Indian films are being watched
Yeah.
all over, across the globe, dubbed in
Yeah.
different languages. And now with the OTT platform, I think people are tuning in and watching a lot of our movies, a lot of our shows, which also feels amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. What you mentioned that movies are going global, and
Yeah.
which is a great thing. Now, talking about various languages, of course, you've worked with all the Khans, and there's nobody that is there that you've not worked with. So, if we look at the South stars, so is there any star that you really want to work with?
I think that they all are amazing, and in fact, their cinema, they like
Yeah.
they're quite ahead of its time because they kind of like doing stuff like their stories, their their connectivity to their audience, to their fans is of a different level. So I would love to work, with either of them, whoever has a good role for me.
Okay, so there's not someone like right now on the top of your head that
No,
you.
anybody who is like has an amazing part
Yeah.
for me, I would love to do it.
Well, talking about Taimur, of course, how can we not talk about him? He's the paparazzi's favorite kid, as we all know. So, does Taimur now know that he gets papped, and what does he talk about it at home? Does he ever tell you anything?
Yeah, of course. He's like, he doesn't like it. I mean, his idea is that his parents are famous. He tells me that, and you know, and Abba are famous, but why do they like taking my pictures? Because I'm not famous. And I
Yeah.
told him, I said, you're not, you are no one.
Yeah.
So he's still figuring out that why they're doing that. And of course he gets like a little rattled. I mean, you know, he's 5.5, they've been after, like, you know, he's constantly being clicked, like whatever. But we've also been open about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know, I mean, I can't like go and stop.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I mean, everybody makes, you know, him out to be like he's a star, but he's an innocent kid. He has no idea. He is like, I don't know why they're taking my picture. So, but as long as he gets to just live his life and, you know, explaining to him that, you know, maybe his parents are famous, so that's why he's getting clicked. But I think he's a very chilled guy. He's kind of understood. He's quite ahead of his age also. Like he can sit and now have conversations and he understands like if his father is explaining something to him. So he's bright and and let's see. I just hope that, you know, he gets to enjoy his life and do what he wants.
Yeah, and as you just said that, Saif, you are very chill about it also. You're not stopping the paps and you're not telling them ki nahi, he's coming out, so you just back off or anything. You guys are very normal, you know, when you're coming out or when you're going out and about. So that is, I think, a very positive thing again about you
Yeah, I mean,
guys.
I think that that's fine as long as, and they should learn to respect us. I cannot constantly keep telling them the same thing.
Absolutely.
And you know, I think they should also have a certain amount of respect because we give them a lot of respect. I've not stopped them from clicking
Yeah.
my kids, but so then they should understand, you know, that there is also a line
Yeah.
drawn.
Yeah.
So you've got your picture when they're coming out with us from the airport, whatever, whenever. But beyond that, you know, like constantly trailing them, that's something that and I think they've kind of understood that. So we have this equation now with the paparazzi where they like, I think they also respect the fact that we've, you know, given them that picture. So now, you know, you can now back off. So I really appreciate the fact that they then do that, you know.
So there's a good relationship at the end of it. Now I'd like to play a very quick game with you. It's a one-word game. So I'm going to say one word to you and you can react to it however you want to. The first one is trolls.
For me, they don't exist.
Paparazzi.
I kind of enjoy them now.
Boycott.
Something, again, that is, I think is completely bizarre.
Yeah, and of course, you know, there were like news all around Twitter
Yeah.
about this Laal Singh Chadha getting boycotted.
But please don't do that because such a beautiful
Yeah.
film like Amir and Advait and all of us have worked so hard to kind of bring this to the cinemas and it's such a cinematic experience. So, you know, please watch the film.
Absolutely. Biopics.
I haven't really ever thought of like one. In fact, I haven't been like even offered a biopic. Maybe on me someday, somebody will play it. Who knows?
But you don't, like you've not
I mean,
thought.
I'm open to it. If it's a good script, I'm open to any kind of, you know, it doesn't have to really be like a biopic or anything. It can be, of course, any kind of, you know, a part.
Yeah. Of course, now I want you to react on this word Photoshop.
I think, honestly, even I constantly tell my team, like if I'm taking pictures, I'm like, please don't. Everyone knows like the way I am, and there's nothing to kind of like. In fact, on my Instagram, I don't. I'm just very like the way I am. I would be giving you an interview, honestly, the way I came, like in my t-shirt without anything. But obviously, there's a certain amount of protocol that everyone wants to follow, which I always try. I'm like, in fact, I'm the most basic, so I'm quite against.
And I think that's why people relate with you. People love you so much.
Yeah, that I'm just like, I'm quite as basic as.
And actually, I asked you Photoshop is because recently when you were on a holiday and you know your photo was
Yeah,
photoshopped.
it was photoshopped to being pregnant, but yeah, I mean, I took it in a good spirit. The whole idea is that you also take it in your spirit.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this conversation,
Thank you.
Kareena. And we are really looking forward to Laal Singh Chadha.
Thank you.
Thank you.